Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us to the special meeting of the Dearborn Heights City Council, called to order today at 5:02 p.m. Madam Clerk, will you please take roll call?
This one is study session.
Oh, so we're not,
Study session, that's for the 5:30.
okay, I'm sorry. Well, we have the Honorable, the man, the myth, the legend, the CEO of our TIFA board, who's going to be speaking to us about our public hearing, Tom Roscoe, I believe, right? Yep. Hey, let's give Tom Roscoe a round of applause, by the way, because the TIFA board does so much for the city of Dearborn Heights. And, Tom, I just want you to just kind of speak to the residents at home that are watching. I'm probably going to get yelled at because my mic, I'm on. So just tell them the role of TIFA, what TIFA stands for, what TIFA means, and how does this benefit the residents of Dearborn Heights, then we can go into our budget.
Okay. All right. Thanks to everybody for being here today. Quick just overview of TIFA. It was established in Dearborn Heights in 1986 under State Act, which allowed cities to establish a tax increment finance authority district, which in essence is allowed to capture a portion of the property taxes that would otherwise be sent elsewhere. We capture it with the focus on reinvesting that money back into our local community. It's been very helpful over the years. Tens of millions of dollars we've been able to reinvest back into Dearborn Heights, 1 year at a time. And it's been something that over the years, it's gone up and down, the amounts, because it's based on the property values. So when the property values are better, obviously our capture goes up. When the property values go down, it goes down. So we do what we can each year. Thankfully, we have a great board of dedicated people who are board members that help to oversee TIFA. And it's been, so many years now, and we keep going. So, of course, the main project that TIFA does is we pay the bonds on the Justice Center each year, and also 42.4% of the JFK Library bond each year. So those are our two main expenses off the top of our budget every year, as you see here in the budget in front of you. So with that being said, each year, we always like to do just a quick run through, at least at a study session, to go through the budget. So that way, when it comes time for the meeting, you have, beforehand, we have time to, if you have any questions or comments, we can go through that. As you know, TIFA is actually it's not under the city. It's set up under State Act to work with the city. So we have a unique relationship. It's always been a great relationship with the city. So
except when they try to add it to the budget.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes people don't understand how it works, and but it's been a great relationship over the years. So as you see in the pack that you have here, our proposed budget, what happens is each year the TIFA board approves a budget and then submits it to City Council for their concurrence, and then only after then is it considered ratified and then it's put into effect. We used to do it later in the year, actually. We used to do it in June or so, but the administration had asked a couple of years ago that we try to do it earlier, so that way they know what money to expect from TIFA, so they can determine, the city budget then. So the past few years we've been doing it early now. The TIFA board approves it in March, so that way we have it now ready to go. So as you see in your packet there, my cover letter kind of ran through some of the highlights of it, but I can run through the budget if you want really quickly.
Quickly, please.
Sure. Okay, so if you look at the top under the revenues, this year's proposed revenue is $3.4 million under the capture amount. That is a significant increase. What we found was last year the utilities did a significant upgrade of all their lines and poles, and remarkably brought in almost $1 million more a year into the TIFA income. So
the utilities.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not going to expect something like this next year then, correct?
Well, no, it's on the books now at that high rate, so it'll depreciate slowly over time. But they hadn't upgraded their infrastructure in the TIFA district since before TIFA was established, from what I'm told. So now it all goes on the books at full rate for them. So
we expect something like 3.4 million, 26, 27.
That's what we're expecting. Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of a surprise. I didn't quite believe it at first. I kept double checking with the assessor to make sure, are you sure this is the right number? But just, yeah. So anyway, so that's our anticipated capture. And then towards the Justice Center bond, there is a cost on each ticket that's issued by the court. I believe it's like $10 or something, some small amount that goes towards paying the Justice Center bond, which they reimburse to us because we pay the whole bond. So it's not much anymore. It used to be a lot more. It used to be $250,000 a year, but now it's down to like less than 100,000.
90,000?
Yeah. So this year we're anticipating maybe even just 75. It's kind of hard to determine court
And
revenue.
what's the cause of that?
We don't know. They're just not issuing the tickets, or they're getting dismissed or something. I don't know how.
Yeah,
Yeah.
less crimes?
Yeah,
That's not the case.
Yeah, it's just, whenever they issue those tickets and they get paid, they put it into account, and then it gets transferred to us at the end of the year.
But if we're not writing tickets, then you're not getting that money.
Yeah,
People are driving less.
I don't know
I know COVID, the numbers were low.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, from what I was told, I thought the numbers were up.
Yeah.
Revenue was up this year.
Yeah.
So this year revenue, I mean, it was always low revenue. They said if they projected 2.2, I think we're projected to come really back at like 1.7, 1.8, which is
Yeah.
double than last year.
Yeah, and it could be the types of tickets, because, different types of tickets, different places get different cuts. So I don't know if this is maybe just the
So
local.
who gave you that number, Director, 75,000 for this year?
You were off.
I've just been kind of following the trends. So just watching the numbers where they've been going, and every year over the past, say, 10 years, they've just been going down. So, but it's kind of.
This is just an estimate, you mean?
Yeah, it's just an
Okay,
estimate.
because the council chair has mentioned, I think they're.
Yeah, I talked to Michelle and Brian this week, yesterday, and one of the conversations was about that. And so she said it's actually gonna come in,
A little more.
it'll be good for the city, good revenue.
Oh, great.
Because, it's not because we wanna make revenue, that's why we're issuing tickets,
Yeah,
but it's because people aren't doing what they're supposed to be.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, so like anything extra is always great, so.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so, and then we have a fund balance appropriation, which is taking money from our savings. We have a sizable savings that we want to start to use up, so I have just under 800,000 in there for a fund balance appropriation towards our revenue for this year. And then when you move down to the expenses, obviously those are the bonds right there off the top. Those are fixed numbers that, we establish. The administration, that went up slightly only because of the increase in the TIF revenue. When we capture the money, the agreement they had with the city for years is 6% of the capture money we give to the city as for administrative assistance. So because that went up to 3.4 million, we budgeted the 6%. So that increased the city contribution. So that's where the everything else is staying the same under administration. Then under the projects that we do, Westwood Schools, as you may be aware, we do contribute to Westwood Schools because that's where the TIFA district is located. At the time TIFA was set up in '86, it was controversial time because they were collecting funds from the schools too, the school millages. So what the city did was they went to each school district and asked them if they would give their blessing for the city to establish TIFA in that area. Westwood was the only school district that agreed to it. So that's why TIFA is where it's at. So it could have been in the citywide, but Crestwood turned it down, and District 7 never replied. So.
Can we?
No. In the 1990s, they did away with the school capture, but they also said that no new TIFAs could be established and TIFAs could not be expanded. They could only either be shrunk or done away with completely. So the counties don't like the fact that we capture their money. So that's the big resistance in Lansing.
What's the reason that's going down from 200 to 50,000?
Just each year we kind of try to move the money around as to where we kind of put money, so with the schools, every so many years, like if they have a big project to help with, the TIFA board will consider it. Last year, the 200,000 was because the Robichaud gym, they were looking to replace the floor, which had all kind of problems in the floor, and it was about a $200,000 job. So we did that and told them, we would.
I wish we could use TIFA money for like the gymnasium right now at D7.
Oh, yeah,
That was high school, I wish.
And the thing is, if we had been in Crestwood, that would have been just before they built the Heights Shopping Center. So most of that money from the Heights Shopping Center would have been kept in the city and not gone elsewhere because it would have been captured by TIFA. But
So they built the Heights Shopping Center in 1986, huh?
yeah, just after the TIFA was established. Yeah. So anyway, but we're back down to 50,000 for this year. Because we had told them, we said we could do a big project once in a while, but not every year. Industrial park improvements, they're down at the extreme southwest corner of Dearborn Heights. That's what it's actually an industrial area, industrial park. We have some money set aside for there just in case anything comes up. We haven't had anything expected, so we just keep that kind of minimal. Commercial rehab program, that's our grant program for businesses in the TIFA district. If anybody comes and applies for it, we like to have money available there. The fire station improvements, that's a
So
big.
can we stop on that for 1 second?
sure.
So that's a grant, you said? Okay.
A matching grant.
Matching grant.
Yeah.
They're opening what, like a business or?
Yeah, for like facade improvements, things like that.
Can you tell the residents how they can apply for something like that?
Sure, it's a business grant. They can go on our website, tifadh.com. There's an application packet there. It has all the information and the requirements. It's not a long list of requirements, but basically for like kind of to beautify the city, exterior improvements, things like that. We've had a number of businesses over the years apply and get the help, and it's reviewed by the TIFA board. And we do have a standard matching grant up to $5,000, and if it's a much larger project, like some have invested 40, 50,000, they can apply to the TIFA board for, they've given $10,000 on some occasions to help. It helps, every little bit helps, so. And the building department's been great about letting people know about that too. If they come in and say they're doing a project in the TIFA district, they'll usually let them know, and sometimes they'll call us. And sometimes if people decide, sometimes they'll say, it's only $5,000. I don't want to do the paperwork, but it's, it's free money. So,
Yeah, I know. 5,000.
yeah. So,
Station.
yeah, fire station, that's a big one for this year. As I mentioned in my cover letter, past few years we've been working with the administration, the engineer specifically on the capital improvements projects that they have going on. And it was brought to my attention, there's an issue at the South End Fire Station, 2 issues. One is space. They're running out of space. The chief said they just had to put a workout room and a file room because they have nowhere else to put it. And then the other issue is the roof is needing to be replaced. So now seemed like a good time. If you're going to expand, you can't really go out. The only way to go is up. So I proposed, they said, if I can put aside $800,000 towards a second floor, would that work? And the engineer said, that would be great. He says they can seek grants for the remainder because it shouldn't be much more than that. And he said that should be easy to accomplish. So I already talked to him. He says once they get some direction on the North End station, they have an engineering firm already lined up, I guess, to work on that. He said they can have them start to draw up the designs for the South End too. So
what happens if we don't use this money on time? Like, I know this is for this fiscal year, so if we don't have the plans and all that stuff, does it go back in your budget and you have to assign it again?
yeah. But it's kind of something I really want to see them do, so I'm going to
Love to see, definitely.
push them to get it done because it shouldn't be that too big a project, really, the second floor. You have all the utilities there and everything, just a matter of, making sure the structure is supported.
You can't do more than 800,000, huh?
Well, if at the time, if there's a need, we can revisit it. It's just, there's kind of a starting number, and see what the grants can come up with, the state grants. He seemed pretty confident because it would be we would be putting in so much of a large part of the share. If it's, say, they need another 100,000 or something, he said that seems like something that would be.
That's what I'm saying. If we're going to get a grant, that's going to take time. That's why I said. what would happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's great, thank you very
Council
much.
Chair,
Yes.
well, we're talking fire departments. Why are we putting into the Crestwood School District from the TIFA from District 8?
No, this is the number one on Telegraph.
The roof, okay, well, I thought you were doing something in the north end.
Oh, no. No,
Oh, I know that.
yeah,
part.
yeah, this is the South End Station.
Okay, I want to make sure, okay,
Yeah.
because this is station number 1.
Yeah, yeah, South End Station number one.
Okay,
Mhm.
good.
I think what Mr. Roscoe, Councilwoman, and I think what he's trying to say is, is that instead of us just fixing the roof, before we put the money in the new roof, let's build up
Oh, yeah,
and then fix the roof,
that makes
you
the
know?
most sense.
I mean, since it's affordable and we're using TIFA money and hopefully grant money, since we're losing so much space.
We've had sidewalks, we've had lights on Beach Daily, we've had stuff in Daly Park. It's been a great thing. I don't know where the other schools didn't join in.
So, okay, so then, let's see, after that, Justice Center improvements, we have 50,000 set aside for any improvements that may be needed there.
How about, I know, and I'm sorry to cut you off again.
It's okay. Mhm.
I was looking at the improvements for the Justice Center. I know they needed a boiler, and we tried to put it in our budget, and we really couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
Is there anything that we can use from,
Well, the issue there is it needs to be like an improvement because in the lease agreement we have with the Justice Center is that the city's responsible for maintenance
well, this
and,
is an improvement. We need to have a better,
yeah, I would have to really look into that.
Can you?
Better boiler, it's not working, this boiler is not.
this boiler's not.
It's not warming enough.
It's not
Yeah.
warming enough, and so we want to make some improvements, and I think we can find the right.
Yeah, like if we upgrade to say, like I mentioned to the engineer, I says, if we upgrade to some kind of system that's like a, like a super energy saver kind of thing, it's, we could consider maybe an improvement. So that's something we could look at.
Okay.
And then, let's see, tree
You
trimming.
mentioned before too, they need carpet, didn't they?
Yeah, well, yeah, there's a whole story with the carpet sometime. Half the building is great on carpet, the other half has a problem. There's some reasons there, I think, so. But, yeah, so let's see, the next item, tree trimming. We put aside money each year for tree trimming, between the sidewalk and the curb, the city streets. I'm looking into it now. We passed year or two, there's been a slowdown because of a changeover in contractors, and there's some, we have to figure some stuff out there, but we still put the money aside so that way if we can figure out, how to get it done, we'll be getting it done. Because we tried to be on a 5-year cycle to get through the TIFA district every 5 years. So just to, trim up the bad limbs and stuff on the trees between the sidewalk and curb. TIFA ordinance officer, we were able to pay for the salary for a full-time officer in the TIFA district. They're dedicated specifically to the TIFA district. So we have that in there. Right-of-way and maintenance and repair.
I'm sorry, so that works in our ordinance department, but it's getting paid by you guys?
Yep,
We know
Yeah.
which employee that is?
Elizabeth Bunker.
Elizabeth. Bunker, yeah, she specifically only works in the TIFA district. So,
So is that part-time or full, this is
She's
part,
full-time.
full-time?
full-time, yep.
But does this cover everything? or-
The arrangement we had, it used to be a part-timer only, and the administration asked us, they said if we would pay for the salary for a full-timer, they would cover the benefits. So that's why we're covering the salary there. And then right-of-way maintenance and repairs, the next item, that has to do with roads and properties that we own. We own some vacant lots, things like that, so maintaining those. We also added money in there to have, I put extra to have at least $50,000 for some road repairs, for some like major stuff like in the commercial areas. We're able to cover that according to our plans, so we had some money available there. Daily park improvements. As you saw this year, TIFA paid for the concrete slab for the workout equipment. This coming year, we were talking, and they said the courts are in bad shape, the tennis courts. So apparently tennis courts are very expensive to repair. So we're looking at having money available for that, and also if they're considering maybe converting maybe half of them into pickleball courts. So while we're doing replacing them, now would be the time to do the upgrades. So we have some money set aside for that. Van Born commercial improvements, there's the Van Born project along Van Born together with the city of Taylor. The first phase has been implemented, the overlay district, but we've been planning money. We've been putting money aside in case there's any actual physical work that's going to be done. So TIFA would be ready with some funds to start things like that if they start moving in that direction. DPW improvements. This year, it looks like we'll be getting that break room built. I had a meeting down there with the director and some representatives of the leadership down there, and Councilman Wenzel was there, and the engineer, and they discussed putting in, kind of a reasonable area for a break room. So hopefully that will get done this year. But there's also some big issues over there. There's a sinkhole forming underneath the facility. We're along some pipes. It's washing away the ground. Also, the drainage grates, like through the building itself, where the like in the garage area. The drains, looks like they went through a war. They're in very bad shape. So we put aside some extra money to be able to attack those issues, hopefully, in the coming year. Beach daily improvements, we always put aside some money for any kind of upgrades along Beach Daily. Crime prevention, TIFA's always had money set aside for, the police used to have a crime prevention officer. I always want to leave it in there just in case something does get resurrected with that. Library improvements, we have $5,000 set aside for some, if they have any kind of small improvements they need there. Sewers, looking to continue our support of that project. The sewer project this year is supposed to be starting, and then putting aside another $900,000 for next year for that combined sewer project. And then contingency, we always have $100,000 in there for contingency. So that brings us to the 4.272,300.
You do a very good job at stretching it.
Oh, well, thanks. Yeah, well, we want to do everything we can for everybody, but you gotta kind of stretch it out.
Appreciate you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So, sorry, Council Chair, so before you leave, Director, so it's already all been used, you said you're gonna look into the boiler stuff, but is there a possibility, like, we can find more money, or?
Well, we have some savings still
Okay.
that we can talk, we can always do like a budget amendment, or it depends what the cost is. Maybe it could fall under contingency or,
From the 1.4?
yeah.
So with the 1.4, you took 797, so that leaves you with like almost another 600? That's why you have been savings?
Oh, no, we have more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roughly, what do you think is in a deficit?
5-6 million maybe. Yeah, we had a situation that came up under when the auditor was here. Apparently the city didn't transfer an entire year's worth of capture to us from 2 years ago. So we just discovered we have another 2.4 million than we thought we had.
That the city owes you?
Well, it's from my understanding, it's been transferred now, because that was in October they discovered it.
That's spent it.
Yeah, so
That was an oversight of the treasurer's office?
I could have been. Yeah, from what I understand, it was in the tax account. It was in the tax account and never transferred out of the tax account. So, but yeah. So anyway, moving forward, trying to get some. It just came to our attention just recently because we only just got the draft of the audit a month ago.
Yeah, all of us.
So until a few years ago, we would always get the TIFA draft the first week of November. City always got theirs in October, and then because they can't do TIFA until after the city's done. So now, past few years, it's been February when we get the information. Literally today, just got the audit reports printed out. So
Sorry about that.
well, that's so.
Half of the administration.
So anyway, so that's where, yeah, but like I said, we can revisit some things and, but like I said, it needs to be like an improvement. It can't just necessarily be like repairs
No, we're not here to
and
repair.
maintenance.
We need
Yeah.
the state of the art, and we're gonna find the right wording, right? Whatever it takes, we're gonna find the right wording. We need the state of the art gastro something that sucks and boils and properly does things for economic efficiency and for the ozone layer to be prevented and harmed so that we can continue to protect the skins of people's lives. Yeah, there's wording there. $5 million. I mean, we might get 3 boilers. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh, come on, let's build City Hall in
Well.
TIFA district.
Well, part of that is we try to keep at least 1 to 2 years worth of bond payments and savings just in case there's like an economic downturn, because that actually saved us back in 2010 when we had the economic downturn.
It looks like that could, I mean, Starbucks is down to like $60 right now. Why?
Yeah. All depends on the property values. When the property values drop, all that money comes, the city doesn't lose what they're getting, it's TIFA loses what we're getting completely in the TIFA
Yeah.
district, because it comes off the top.
Yep.
So,
You're actually going back to the justice bond. Do you know how much we still owe on the bond? Any idea? Or?
amount-wise, off the top, actually, I could probably tell you. It's until like 2033, I think we owe.
2033? Wow.
Yeah.
How much was it from the start?
Let's see, outstanding balance is around 8 million.
Okay,
So,
so we got like about 8 more years to go.
yeah.
And the bond is on the TIFA.
TIFA is actually the owner of the building, and we pay the bond, and we have the lease agreement with the city.
Budget.
Yeah.
So do you have any land in the TIFA district that we can build the City Hall on?
Not that I know of.
We wanted an E-course in Dearborn.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Maybe we can build an addition onto the Justice Center.
No,
Problem there is you're landlocked. You're at your parking maximum right now.
What?
Especially-
We'll just talk to Home Depot.
Yeah.
yeah, they should move.
You just gotta be a good negotiator.
Taxes, no.
I mean, just kind of as an aside, I won't say where, there are some large properties, but there's environmental issues. So I wouldn't even recommend putting a city hall with workers and stuff in there. But, yeah.
No, probably one of those buildings behind the Justice Center, like the one right on Gully.
Mhm.
We can buy one of those.
I don't think we got any money to buy anything. We don't got 2 corners
I
of
mean,
the
with the TIFA.
Council Chair.
Yep.
Tom, do you know who owns that property on Beach Daily near Amherst, Hanover, and Courier? On the west side of Beach Daily?
Oh,
We've got vacancy there, 2 streets or more.
well, just south of the old Dailies?
Yes.
Is that what you're talking?
South of
Oh,
Dailies.
yeah, that's 1 block, but that's not large,
Yeah.
you know? Maybe you could fit like a business there or something, but not,
Those commercial businesses.
yeah.
All right.
Okay. Tom Rasko, thank you very much. Does anyone else have any other questions before I end the study session? We're gonna open it up to public comments now.
It's my favorite budget, is the TIFA budget.
Me too, it's the easiest.
It is.
And it's the most positive.
Yeah, I know.
I have to
I
sit there
told
and
them
break
to work
numbers
on
down.
ours.
I do, ma'am. Please state your name, the city you reside in, and the
Yeah,
street that
city
you live
reside.
on. You have 3 minutes.
Rachel Lapointe, Merrick Street, Dearborn Heights. Thank you so much, Mr. Roscoe. I just wanted to say my family and I went over to Daly Park the other week when it was cooling off again, when it was like warm and then it started getting cool in the evening. That park is amazing. My kids had such a good time. Like, they enjoyed even the new like workout equipment. They thought it was amazing. We did notice we had brought our tennis rackets with us, and we noticed that the it was in need of repair. I will say my only comment would be to double check before putting in pickleball. I've heard it can be very noisy to neighbors, so we might want to do like a sound barrier or something, because it is very close to homes right there. And I wouldn't want anybody to, now have pickleball and loud noises. And
If you have to pick 2 loud noises between basketball and pickleball, I think we're taking pickleball.
I would absolutely do it because my kids have learned it at school at OW Best and think it's amazing. So all in favor of pickleball, just making sure that if we need to put up a noise barrier, that maybe we can fit that in with a little bit of that extra money we've got on hand. And then I would say, when you said the thing about the funds not getting transferred over, Mr. Constant, Councilman Constant mentioned, would that be on the treasurer's office? I believe that would be the comptroller's office that's in charge of initiating those fund transfers. So that's just something I've learned recently. So That's all. Thank you.
I will say, thank you, Rachel. I will like to just add that pickleball has become this new aura of the world. And so when I go to the gym, there was always basketball courts. They closed down an entire basketball court to create a whole roll of pickleballs, and it's like, even LeBron James added a pickleball court in his backyard. It's like the new thing.
Should try it.
And it's like, obviously.
Nice car, by the way.
Of course. Free family.
I was gonna say the same thing, her scarf.
Okay, any other questions? Anyone on Zoom? Seeing none, the study session is over. Thank you, Tom Roscoe, for all that you do.